And we are live, and good morning, everyone, to session one of the 2020 Virtual Kentucky K12 Technical Summit on track two. And at this time, we have a discussion on clever setup and the NTI preparation. During this discussion, please feel free to bring up comments and questions via the live chat or Twitter using hashtag KYTechs and include a T2 for track 2 in front of your message. Also, we encourage you to tweet out quotes, awesome moments, and things to remember during the hashtag Kentucky Techs and the @ERATC Kentucky during the session. There will be an exit survey at the end. A link will be shown on the screen for you to complete the survey for this hour, and you will also receive a 1 hour of ELA credit. Now to our team, welcome. Please give us a brief introduction to each of you, and you can take it away. Go ahead, team.
Hi there, I'm Lisa Salyer, and this is Mike Whitaker, and we're very excited to be here with you today. And we're both members of the Johnson County Board of Education Technology team.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Glad you guys could join us.
You want to go ahead to the next slide there? There we go.
So Clever brings all K12 applications into a secure portal and provides single sign-on for everyone in the district. Getting started with Clever, sign up, create an account. It's free. You will choose your IDP, whether you're Google or Microsoft. Connect it to Infinite Campus, add your applications, share out your data using one roster, and create your rollout plan, which is all integrated and Clever. It'll give you step-by-step on doing all of that. Something very important to remember is to install the Clever extensions on all devices, all browsers that you can. It will help get everybody logged in a lot easier, especially with some applications that aren't necessarily compatible with Clever. The extension will make it compatible. Administrators can view the analytic dashboard. This assists with the purchasing of EdTech resources, allows administrators to make certain approved tech tools are being utilized. You can monitor all apps and sites that are being used to help confirm that they are FERPA and COPA compliant. And there is a new tool that they have released this past year, the Advanced EdTech Analytics. And it is an additional extension that needs to be installed, and it's fantastic. Teachers and admins can also troubleshoot student accounts.
And then, Mike, I wanted to go back there and add that Clever is compatible with all devices, that Android and iPads as well. Just like he said, you need to make sure that you install that extension. And those are some things that you really need to do up front to keep troubleshooting issues down. We actually had a few nights set aside where parents were able to come in and they were able to bring their devices, and some of them had not installed that Clever extension, and so that was really one of the biggest issues that we had with students having difficulty at home. But the key to that was starting early. So we started early, having those parents where parents were able to come in and they were able to bring their devices. Students would actually bring their grandparents a lot of times in. So those are some things that you can do to help alleviate some of the troubles that you may have. A lot of advantages that we have seen is that we have saved countless hours of instruction. So we've eliminated lost instructional time. Coming from the primary and having passwords is very, very difficult sometimes. I've even had baseball card protectors, and I've had those filled up front and back and in binders for students. And you know, an 8-year-old or a 5-year-old, it's very difficult, even at the best you can do, to try to organize those passwords. So for me, this was just mind-blowing how quickly students can get on to different platforms. And just a little bit, we're going to share with you what it looks like from the student perspective, the parent perspective, administrator and teacher perspective. Clever syncs with Infinite Campus, so programs are auto-rostered. I know that Mike and I have spent countless hours in the past at the beginning of school trying to help our teachers getting enrolled in programs and helping to set up passwords. So this is really saved the technology department. I would go so far to say months of work, because we were spending a lot of our time doing those types of things that are now done automatically for us. So it allows students to begin work rather than waiting for the teachers, like I said, or the tech department to create accounts. I know in the past, I've waited, you know, up to 2 weeks to 3 weeks, because there's limited, you know, time is an issue with this rostering. So it's put everyone to work in it almost immediately. And best of all, Clever is free. Okay. And let me say that again. Clever is free. And that's the most amazing part. And it was very easy to set up. And Mike will talk to you more about that in just a little bit. He'll show you the console and how easy it was to set up. Clever got to work with us as soon as we let them know that we were interested. We heard right back from them, and they have a great troubleshooting team as well. Students are able to access all the resources during traditional and non-traditional instruction. And for our elementary schools, we use badges. So most of our teachers had lanyards, and the students would then wear their badge on their lanyard, and that worked perfectly at school. So they could, no matter if they went to the STEAM lab or the library, wherever they traveled, they had their badge. So they were just able to scan in Clever and then access all their different products. Now, for the middle school and our high school, those students use their Google account rather than the badges. And let me say, with the elementary school, we also sent our badges home with the students. So they had one at home and they had one at school. And if a student lost their badge, this is what we encourage them to do. During parent-teacher conferences, we had the parents take a picture of the badge on their cell phone, so that way they would make sure not to lose it. So that was a really neat trick to help as well. I want to add here too, for security, if the badges are lost, that's not an issue. All they have to do is report it to the teacher or to the tech department, and we'll cancel that badge and create a new badge for them. What I want to say here too, in order to make non-traditional instruction flow seamlessly, it's key to use Clever on a regular basis. And once teachers were introduced to Clever, we actually rolled it out as the school was starting, and we had one PLC meeting with those teachers, and we had kindergartners logging into all their products within a day. So it's simply amazing. Next slide, please. District and teacher pages allow for easy navigation. And like I said, we're going to take a look at that in just a second. There's a complete training center for teachers and administrators. But I'll be honest with you, Clever is so easy to use that the teachers they train themselves very quickly. Like I said, we have one training, but then the teachers just took off with it. Another neat aspect to Clever is if a teacher is instructing, they can force applications to open to their entire class. So you can actually shut down all the other applications and then force any application that you want to open, which is a huge time saver. Again, coming from the primary side, I'm accustomed to working with small children, and going around to each application, each student, and opening an application. Time I got one opened up, I go back to another one, and they had opened up something else, and so that can be a little bit time consuming and a little bit frustrating sometimes. Another neat feature that we used this year was posting announcements. So we can send out an announcement, and it goes to every teacher, every administrator, every student, and we'll take a look at what that looks like in just a minute. We're actually able to do our safety pledges, such as the COVID safety pledge. We're able to get that out to all of our staff and students with a push, just one push, and that was pretty amazing. So let's go ahead, Mike, now, and let's take a look at the student side of Clever. So we have one of our students here pulled up, and we have permission to do so, but this actually is just showing what it looks like on their end. So you can see here this student is enrolled in several different classes, and the student is also able to favorite their products. So at the top, those are ones that the student had created as a favorite resource, and they just select a heart, and that goes up to the top. So when they get in, they can see that really quickly. And I want to look up there at the bell, just really quick, right there. There's where those notifications can come. Right now, this student does not have any, but right there is where they go, and it will light up and show and indicate to them if they have a notification. Going to the teacher page down there, you can see this student was enrolled in several different classes. But let's take a look at Mrs. McClure's third grade class there. Okay, so you can see that she had certain tools and resources that she would want them to be able to access easily. She just throws that in there, and the student just navigates here and clicks. And once they click, they're automatically enrolled into whatever program that may be. And let's go back to the main page, to the student page. Okay, and if we go on down the screen here, you'll see that our district has bookmarked different pages for the students. There's the COVID safety pledge. You can see that we have a student privacy pledge. We put our digital driver's license here, so the students were able to get in there and work on that at any time that they were wanting to access it. So Clever is not locked down after school hours, that students can get in and work on these programs at any given time. And I really think that is a strength as well. Okay, let's go back to our slide presentation, Mike.
Some of the challenges that we encountered with Clever was having all student email addresses and portal accounts in Infinite Campus. We didn't decide to do Clever till a few weeks before school started, and that was a challenge in itself. But it was easy enough. We had everything up and running in a few days with the start of school. But email addresses is a big one. You want to make sure all student email addresses are in Infinite Campus and that they all have portal accounts. And Clever mirrors Infinite Campus. So you got to make sure all your students are in whatever classes and homerooms as early as possible to the beginning of the school year for them to start using Clever.
Mike, we noticed there as well is that sometimes in primary school, students work with different teachers. So it's imperative if they do switch classes at all or change teachers that they be tied to that account. If not, then that creates an issue for the teachers being able to see the student data. So I would just remind everyone to make certain that their Infinite Campus clerks stay on top of that, and that way that data can be shown to the teachers when they're ready to view it.
Yes. And the parent email addresses have recently become even more important with Clever just recently released the family portal. And the family portal will tie those students' parents to Clever as well. And parents will have a Clever account where they can log in their own child or help their child get logged in. So for parent portal in Infinite Campus, try to make sure you have everybody set up there, and Family Portal will also take off and work well. And I also want to go back and reiterate the amount of time that this has saved me. They and Lisa, the beginning of school is not the same since we went to Clever. We're able to take care of many other things that we've never been able to take care of so early in the school year. It's just the time saving is amazing. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and jump into the actual admin dashboard, which is what all the district administrators will see. This is where you will add your applications and get them set up, sharing. So you can share each application based on, and some of your applications will only have a single amount of licenses. You may only have it for certain schools. And you can drill down that sharing to match your licenses, depending on where it's at. And it's just as easy as adding an application. Clever will automatically send an email to the developer of that application, and they'll get everything set up. The app type right here, the SSO safe passwords. This is where the Clever extension is extremely important. If you do not have the Clever extension, some of these apps that are set with SSO saved passwords will not work. What that extension does is it connects into Clever and will send over your passwords to that extension to get you signed in. If you don't have that extension, then your saved passwords will not transfer over. Some of the applications that show SSO and rostering will tie directly into Clever, and you do not have to worry about saved passwords or the extension at that point. The Family Portal, I'll go ahead and pull that up real quick. Just give you guys a look at that. And just about everything in Clever will have some templates that you can send to teachers, to staff, to let you know of new applications. Right here's a template you can send out with the Family Portal, and it will send an email to all the parents that it's picked up in IC to let them know about your child's Clever account and how they can access it. Some of the EdTech analytics. The EdTech analytics is a separate extension that you can add to all your browsers in Chromebooks, and it will pull up what all the students are getting on and give you a little bit better of idea if they're using anything they shouldn't be using and the amount of time it's being used on.
And that's really beneficial in making decisions on purchasing. So if we are actually using a product and we go and we look and it's not being accessed, then we know that that's not something that we need to continue funding. So this analytics is truly amazing. It's really amazing too to look at during non-traditional instructional days as well, so we can see what types of devices the students are using, which programs they're accessing. So EdTech analytics is pretty amazing.
And it's free.
Yes, that's exactly free. Everything's free. Mike, do you like to show them how that they can access the badges and how we can just generate those for all the schools?
Yeah. So here's our badges at the district admin level. I mean, it's as easy as clicking new badges if you want to download all new badges for that school. You can void all the badges if you want to every single year. And whenever you do that, it will download a PDF with every single badge that you can send out via email or however you want to those teachers, those schools, to get everybody logged in.
And it sorts them out by teacher. So generally we print those out and we take them to the schools and we laminate those, especially at the elementary schools. And like we said before, include one for home. Parents often get a picture of that. Also, they have one on their lanyards.
Hey, Mike and Lisa, this might be a great point to field that very question in. We have some people in the chat here that would like to see a badge if you have one handy. But if not, maybe we could drop a picture in the resources later. But I've got some folks here who would like to see a badge.
Yeah, we will do that, and that way we'll do one, and then we'll void it. That way that we make sure that we're secure. If that's okay with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just good timing on the topic and the question. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see if they've got a picture of a badge on here. No, they don't. You want me to go ahead and download a badge, Lisa?
We can do that and just go ahead and void it. That way we can go ahead and address that question. Are there any other questions there while Mike's?
None offhand that I see right now. There was one other one. Let's see. I think maybe no. A couple districts were talking about using Clever EdTech Analytics, but I think that was just a side note in the chat.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up a badge here.
There we go. That's his son. So.
So here's a badge.
The students really enjoy logging in with the badges, especially our elementary students. You know, it's pretty amazing. It's kind of like a toy exactly to them. And once they get in, it is like magic, really. And that's you should see their eyes just light up when they sign in. And the biggest thing I would say there too is it creates independence. So students take control of their own learning because they don't have to depend on an adult to do this for them. They're able to do it themselves. And I know Mike can attest to that as well, having young students at his home.
Yes, it's makes life so easy. It does extremely easy. And with the badges, obviously, you have to have a device that has a camera.
Right. And then, but how we alleviate that problem, if not, the students have their Google account, so they log in that way at home. Of course, at school, it's not an issue because we have cameras on all the devices. But at home, we were able to give them their Google credentials, and so they sign in like that at home. So what I would say is to start early. Our students are accustomed to it now, so non-traditional instruction was seamless because they were used to it. We'd already done all the troubleshooting up front because these students were using these products at school, but they were also using it at home all throughout the year. Now that that's happened, the only students that we will need to bring up to speed will be our kindergarten students. And then we plan to have parent information. You know, we'll have, I'm not sure what it'll look like exactly yet, but maybe we'll have small groups of parents come in and we can train those parents, the new parents, and get them up to speed on this. But I can't say enough about Clever, coming from as an educator and coming from having just stacks of passwords for my students. I was always a power user of various technologies, and that was always one of the biggest things that stood in my way was managing those passwords, and now that's gone. And so I would suggest Clever for anyone, especially it being free. So that's all I have. Do we have any other questions? Mike, do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
No, not on that. We can take a look at the teacher portal if you want.
Yes, let's do that.
So yeah, right here is so troubleshooting with Clever is amazing. For any of your, as long as you're at the district admin level, you can access the portal as each of these users, as the teacher, as the student, to troubleshoot and see exactly what they're going to see on their side. So I'm going to go ahead and access one of our teachers with her permission to show you guys what the teacher dashboard and portal looks like. All right, so here is her dashboard and portal, which shows the favorites she's added on there, resources she's added, and she'll see the district resources that we've added, and her classrooms. So right here is, and this is great, it will show which of her students are actively online, which are offline, and you can launch an app for every student that's on. If you want them to be in Google Classroom, you can select that. As long as they're logged into Clever, it will take control of that and open up that application.
You can see that she can create a teacher announcement, and then also, Mike, if you will go over to the side and show how that she could troubleshoot any of the students that were having issues. There is while he's finding that, over to the side, she has a space where she can type in any student in her class. Just hit back there, Mike. Yeah, there you go. And then help a student. There you go. And she can just type in the student's name, and she can access their account and do the troubleshooting from there. So this saves countless hours as well of time.
Yeah, and before you even have to go through the trouble of avoiding a badge or creating a new one, it will give you a backup code if you don't want to do the badge if you're in a hurry. And this code right here will temporarily replace a badge. And also in the classroom setting, especially if you're in a lab setting, if you're in a computer lab, I mean, you can log every single student out at the same time in that lab, have it ready for the next class. Each teacher also has their own set of analytics they can view for their classrooms. That's pretty well it for the teacher. You got anything you want to add with that, Lisa?
I think that's it. Do we have any other questions there?
Not that I see. A lot of good conversation. I think a lot of districts are now kind of, just talking a little bit about some of the things that you all are talking about, and it looks like a lot of positive reviews and echoing a lot of what you all are saying. And so what we'll probably do then is that if you guys don't mind to hang out, we'll post the link to this Google Meet in the chat, and if people want to pop in and talk to you a little bit further, then they can ask questions on their own if they want to. So if you guys are wrapped up, I'll do the closing part of the script, and I'll post the link in the chat, and you guys can hang out and talk for 10, 15 minutes or however long it takes. So thank you so much, Mike and Lisa. That's great. And I know as a district that's looking at, possibly going into Clever, we've been kind of on the outside looking in for a while. This was a great selling point, not just because it's a great product, but it obviously helps. I mean, there's a lot of good points to this, and it looks like it makes life easier. So we are going to post a link in the chat. If you'd like to hang around and talk, that'd be great. Please feel free, and we recommend that you